हेलो दोस्तों, आपका स्वागत है बीकेजी आईएएस पीसीएस क्लासेज में। आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे ज्योग्राफी न्यू एनसीईआरटी ऑफ क्लास 6 का थर्ड चैप्टर। वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड चैप्टर। प्लीज वॉच फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड बिफोर वॉचिंग थर्ड चैप्टर। So third chapter is motions of the earth, and here we will discuss all the points that is important with the perspective of various exams. Here rotation is the movement of the earth on its axis is called rotation. And next important point is revolution basically is the movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit. In a fixed path or orbit is called a revolution. And next we can see here orbital plane and angle made by orbital plane. The axis of the earth, which is an imaginary line, makes an angle of 66.5 degree with its orbital plane. As we can see here, this is the orbital plane and orbit of the earth, and the angle made by north pole and orbital plane is 66.5 degree. So here we can see by a pictorial representation. And next we can see here the circle of illumination. And here we first see, we will see by pictorial representation, that is half of the portion of earth experiences day, and here as we can see, and half of the portion of earth experiences night, and the circle divides the region day and night over the surface of earth is called circle of illumination. As we can see here, the portion of earth facing the sun experiences day, and while the other half away from the earth, away from the sun, experiences night, and the circle that divides the day from night on the globe is called circle of illumination. And next we can see here the earth takes about 24 hours to complete one rotation, as we already discussed first point, and on its axis, and the period of rotation is known as the earth day, and this is also called as daily motion of the earth. And next we can see here day and night on the earth due to rotation. And next we can see all the important points. The second motion of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit is called revolution. We have already discussed, and here you will see extra information. It takes 365 days and 6 hours to revolve around the sun in a year, in 1 year, and we consider a year as consisting of 365 days only, and ignore 6 hours for the sake of convenience, and we add 6 hours every fourth year, and it makes 1 day. And here we can see February is of 29 days instead of 28 days. Such a year with 366 days is called as leap year. And further we will see here by pictorial representation. This is the sun, and the various seasons of earth, the revolution of the earth and seasons. As we can see here, we can see this is the sun, and further on 21st March, this is equinox, equal day and night, and spring season in northern hemisphere, autumn season in southern hemisphere on 21st March. And next we can see here 21st June, that is sun is over the Tropic of Cancer overhead, and summer in the northern hemisphere and winter in the southern hemisphere, as we can see, and this is also called as summer solstice. And next we can see on 23rd September, that is equinox, equal day and night, and autumn season in northern hemisphere and spring season in southern hemisphere. And further we will see 22 December, that is winter solstice, and winter in northern hemisphere and summer in southern hemisphere. Further we will see the important information. On 21st June, northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, and the rays of the sun fall directly over the Tropic of Cancer, and these areas receive more heat, and the areas near the poles receive less heat as the rays of the sun are slanting, and north pole is inclined towards the sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle experiences continuous daylight for about 6 months. As we can see, when the sun is on Tropic of Cancer, Arctic Circle experiences continuous daylight for about 6 months. And further, since a large portion of northern hemisphere is getting light from the sun, it is summer in the regions north of equator, and the longest day and shortest night at these places occur on 21st June. Longest day and shortest night. And at this time in the southern hemisphere, all these conditions are reversed. As we can see, we have already discussed by pictorial representation, and it is winter season there, and nights are longer than days, and this position of earth is called as summer solstice. And further we will see on 22nd December, 22 December, Tropic of Capricorn receives direct rays of the sun as the south pole tilts towards the sun, as the sun rays fall vertically at the Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23.5 degrees south, and large portion of southern hemisphere gets light, and Antarctic Circle gets 6 months day continuous lights, as we can see by above discussion. And on 22 December, southern hemisphere, with longer days and shorter nights, reverse happens in northern hemisphere, and this position of earth is called as winter solstice, as we have already discussed. And further, on 21st March and September 23rd, direct rays of the sun fall on equator at this position. Neither of the poles is tilted towards the sun, so the whole earth experiences equal days and equal nights. This is called equinox. And further, there is nothing to discuss as important with the perspective of exams. So please subscribe the channel and share the videos for further videos. Thank you for watching BKG IAS PCS classes.